step into a Yin-care live stream recording where I unfurl the profound foundational role self-love plays in our health creation journey. It's time to sanctify our love of self. Honor yourself, celebrate your strength, empower your transformation with your Yin-care. This is the Yin-care Podcast, and I'm your host, Margaret Jacobson, the Mother Rising. Welcome in, everyone. Exciting news over here at Yin-care. We are now going to be doing regular live streams. In order to stay notified of these events, please sign up for notifications on YouTube, X, and Rumble. We will live stream on those platforms for sure, and we will be attempting to configure it to work on Instagram. We were unsuccessful with this one. This particular recording that you'll be listening or watching here was our first live stream. Yay! I would love to have you join for those, and we'll welcome your questions and comments. So as we move forward, likely more of our interviews will be live as well, which will be pretty exciting, and would just love to have you guys join us. So if you really want to stay in the loop, please be sure to head over to yincare.com and sign up for our newsletter, which is the very prominent pop-up when you arrive on the page that will also provide you with our womb empowerments that truly fortify you and allow you to go deeper into connecting with your own womb wisdom. So if you do enjoy this episode, please be sure to like it, share, subscribe, and hey, leave me a comment. Let me know what you liked, what you want more of. I would really love to hear. And with that, I present to you Yin-care's Virgin live stream on the sanctity of self-love. When our sensitive tissues are off, everything is off. That's one of the many reasons I absolutely love Yin-care's Herbal Wash. This incredible Taoist formula gently nudges the vaginal microbiome back into balance. Not to mention, it feels amazing. So get your hands on some Yin-care's Herbal Wash today. That's YINCARE.com. Restore, rejuvenate, and refresh with Yin-care. Welcome, everybody. This is Margaret Jacobson, the Mother Rising with the Yin-care Podcast. I decided I was going to try this out and go live today. I got it to stream. I'm very proud of myself on YouTube, Instagram, Rumble, and feel like there was one other, X. So today we're talking about the sanctity of self-love. And this may just be a quickie. This may be longer. We'll just see. Yeah, it just was coming to me that really the message I wanted to be sure people took into themselves. I talk a lot about and bring people onto the Yin-care podcast that are providing all different kinds of modes of healing or ways that they have healed or different modalities, basically, mostly for women and women's health. That would be in alignment with Yin-care. And what I have found for myself and as a constant sort of backbone of healing is this foundational element of self-love. And truly it is something that is a piece that we really need to just honor in ourselves. And so I wanted to just explain the word sanctity, because sanctity is not necessarily a word that we're going to use all the time. And it refers to really the quality or the stage of something being holy, sacred, highly important, and deserving great respect. And it's so true when it comes to self-love. It really deserves this level of sanctity and just honoring. Really, the tagline for Yin-care has been, and it was before for the Mother Rising for my previous business, was honor yourself, celebrate your strength, empower your transformation. And it's not for me to empower you, it's for you to step into your power. And all of those things together really embrace this idea of the sanctity of self-love. So if you can just finding ways in your life to love yourself. And I used to say with my kids, we would have on the way to school, I'd be running to school in the minivan and they'd be in the back seats. And it was my requirement that everybody leave for the day loving themselves. So I would say, do you love yourself? Does your mommy love you? Does your daddy love you? Does your grandma and grandpa love you? Does your this, that, and the other love you? And they would have to answer, yes, yes, yes. And it was sort of a chant, like a mantra that we said every morning on the way to school. And it really is something that I feel, has strengthened them as individuals. And it was so much fun. It really brought joy and fun into the morning time, even though it was obviously stressful. Three little kids, wrangling them around, trying to get them to school. So many things I would do differently now. But anyway, a lot of bribery involved. Let's just say that. And we had some interesting outfits on the way to school. But self-love really, it takes a lot, right? When we're going through life and there's lots of challenges, sometimes it can be so hard to love ourselves. We want to beat ourselves up all the time. And the world has these societal norms that make us think that loving ourselves is something that we should be ashamed of, that we should constantly berating ourselves for what we are not and how we don't measure up. And so there's a lot of unwinding that really has to happen in our own lives, in whatever way it is that you choose to navigate getting to that place. So it may be that you are choosing, I don't know, a workshop that is bringing you more in touch with your eating habits, or a new workout routine, or you're choosing to go on a walk each day. And so when you're doing these things, that is really a step that you are showing yourself that you are showing up for yourself, that you are loving yourself, that you are worthy. And just think of I love that word worthy, because it's worth. It has value. You are valuable. You are important. You mean something when you choose whatever it is that you're choosing to put in your body to eat or to drink, or a thought that you're putting in your mind. All of these things are things that contribute to how we value ourselves and what level of sanctity we're bringing to our own self-love. And so I just really want to plant this seed in this beautiful time of year when we're really we're coming into the summer solstice, which is just such a special time. So much life, so much vibrancy, so many solar codes with the sun coming through. The animals, last year, this time on our property, we had a mother deer that gave birth to twins we literally witnessed these deer being born. It was so miraculous. And so just as everything's coming into bloom, I'm in Wyoming, so everything coming into bloom is really magnificent, right? Because we're in such cold weather and windy weather, and we have such extremes in many cases, that when it comes into this full solar time of year, it's just such a magical, beautiful time. The flowers are out, the bees, we have these gorgeous little bees. Anyway, these little things, the beauty codes, which we talked about in the podcast that was launched yesterday with Luma Lore as Oracle Pegasus, the author of the Starfire Wisdom book, we talked a lot about beauty codes. And these beauty codes really weave themselves into this idea of self-love, surrounding yourself with beauty, whether it's flowers, and just acknowledging it and sharing it with other people, bringing in, there's a frequency transmission just in those little things. And so just raising your awareness to pay attention. a lot of you don't know my whole story because you know me through Yin-care or the product Yin-care, or you have participated in maybe our clinic or a Yao clinic, or you're new to the podcast. But I have had many, many, many dark times. I went through a horrible divorce. Obviously, raising 3 kids was not easy. I was actually a young mother for this day and age. I was 30 when I had my kids, but that was young. With the group that I was hanging out with, the other moms, they were older than me. And so there was a lot of challenges that went into it. And the divorce was a whole, I want to say like a squeeze hole, it really was a birth that I had to go through. It was a dark night of the soul. It was so many different things. And yeah, oh gosh. But the beauty codes, let's get back to the beauty codes. The beauty codes are so important. So that's just a simple little thing that you can take, especially this time of year in the summer solstice, into your system. There's frequencies, as Luma was sharing in that podcast with the Starfire Wisdom book, that anything in nature reflects. And just witnessing it and taking a breath with a beautiful flower. I have these peonies in the backyard that I barely salvaged from moving around with my crazy life and moving them here to Wyoming. And so every time they come up, it is so exciting. It's like a handful of days and they're just slowly opening. And anyway, this little bee, we have these beautiful little bees that have an orange little bottom, I don't know, orange little stripe on them. And when they start flying around, it is just so exciting. And so just witnessing, watching them do their magic. And there's so much that unfolds too with this level of self-love. We really come into this level of intuition, and the intuition I really like to refer to as our womb wisdom. And one tool that I really have loved using, that I basically created for myself to bring me into this space of alignment and knowing that I was worth something, was I developed these, what I call the womb empowerments. And you can get those if you want them. They're available for free at yincare.com. I think it's the first thing that pops up when you come to the site. And the womb empowerments, I put it into a video and also a beautiful little PDF printout that you can click on, you can post in your house, on your refrigerator, in your bathroom, next to your bed, and just read through them. And it takes you through these steps of a progression of affirmations about yourself that you can say that really brings you into a space of tuning yourself like you're a tuning fork. And so when you have this base level of self-love, it's like the universe is going to start to respond, and you develop this muscle of trust with yourself around how to show yourself that you are showing up. We've been told that we have to trust everybody else. Everybody else is the outside expert. We have to go to, and in the case of Yin-care, one of the big messages that I'm always really focusing on in my work and with the book that I'm writing is really this health creation journey around our interactions with medical professionals. And so with medical professionals, we've always been told that we have to go outside of ourselves for that type of advice. And truly, what I want to remind you is that you are your own best primary care doctor. You are the one who knows. And you have been led to believe that needs to come from an external source. And so part of, again, this tuning yourself back into finding that grounding space of intuition and knowing that you are a wise source of information is developing this, like the fertile ground for that is this self-love. So you have to have this fertile ground of self-love for the intuition to respond. And once that starts to respond, you also have to keep developing that muscle. So it's things like acknowledging if you are having a dream about something and then something shows up in your life that's related to that dream, or somebody calls. That is the world, like my friend Noko says, it's a God wink. And it's the universe responding and saying, yeah, we hear you. We're here. And it's been such a beautiful thing for me to see unfold at such a profound level as I've come onto this land here in Wyoming, because the land has responded. And this is what the native people have always known. They have been driven away from their own self-love and self-knowing. And so it's not here in all of the populations of our native people anymore. And it's something we have to remind each other about this, but that the land is speaking to us as well. And as clear as we get in ourselves, the land is responding. And so then bringing that into this space of caring for the earth, we get all of these societal bombardments of these radical, you must do this and you must do this to be an eco-friendly man or woman, right? You should be recycling, or you should be not using plastics or certain kinds of materials. And yet our thoughts are polluted with self-beratement. One example of this is that I had interviewed a number of women when I lived in a fairly wealthy community in Northern California. When I was raising my young kids, I got this divine inspiration. I was being led to do this project of interviewing women about their own spiritual practices and how they were tending to themselves as women. And somehow it came up that they were all so concerned about the environment, but it was in a way that was bringing about so much sadness and suffering that the messaging and the energy that was being transmitted to the earth energies there was an inversion, there was a disconnect there. And so I just want to bring into the field that one of the most important things that we can do is to nourish ourselves with good thoughts and good food and all of these different aspects of the beauty codes, all of the little things that we do in our daily life to just remind ourselves that we are worthy and we are beautiful and we are perfect in our wholeness. There's such a crazy world out there that is wanting to scream and yell at you about war and dysfunction. And we have to be able to come into a space of peace in the body before we can really know what it means to be peaceful with each other. And so to me, the foundational element really is self-love. And this is a space to really come into honoring and to sanctify it by honoring it as holy and sacred and special and worthy. I guess what my real message here today really is coming through is knowing this about yourself, knowing that you are worthy and that you are full of love and light and joy and wisdom. Yes, these are the things that are part of the womb empowerments. I'm saying them because I'm reminded that these are those words. I'm trying to remember them right off the bat, but that this is what it is. I am a being of light, shining bright inside human form. I am filled with love, light, joy, wisdom. Let's see, I'm filled with love, light, joy, wisdom, loving energy, peace. Oh my goodness, those are all, but you can take those as little tidbits and you can sign up for the womb empowerments to feel them in full. And they are so powerful. And what I would do as a visual is I would say them to myself and I would feel them in myself. And then I would feel that radiating out of my body. And then I would say it a second time I would feel it radiating out of my body. going out to the world. And then I would feel it coming back to me, all of those things. So I would do it 3 times and feel those things. And it was just such a beautiful, wonderful practice for me. It was really, it took me out of so many dark places. I had lost my kids. I had been a single mom at home with them, raising them. They had been taken from me through a number of events, through very, very dark, manipulative means. And I had, little balls of tissues all over the house, crying and wondering how the heck I was going to get through this and how I was going to get the kids. And I just kept doing little things that would bring me into a space of joy. So being outside, honoring myself as a part of nature, knowing that I was not disconnected from it and that I needed to be outside with all of my loving nature friends. So I would go on long walks and take time to sit outside on my deck I had a very small apartment at the time, but I had I grew, if you can do, this is the other thing, is growing things and having living plants that you're tending to. If you don't have a yard or something, having some kind of plant, even an indoor plant that you're tending to, that is that is a sacred totem being that is there to provide you with love and support. It may seem silly, it may seem totally ludicrous, but these beings, everything holds this level of consciousness. And the more tuned in we get at all of these little levels, each little baby step takes us closer. And so you may be, my main squeeze through, dark night of the soul was divorce. And it went on for years. It was really horrendous. But other people and I had some health problems too. I had Hashimoto's hypothyroiditis. Oh my goodness. I've had nearly 25-year long recovery from a C-section that had a lot of hip impingement and immobility. And so every little baby step has taken me deeper and deeper and deeper into myself and into my cellular ability to communicate consciously. And it is so exciting, and it is just so much fun now. And I have a beautiful life with a beautiful husband and a beautiful business and a beautiful cat and family. And it's not to say there aren't challenges. There are definitely challenges, and certain days are more challenging. But as you have this base level, this foundational level of self-love, it's going to nourish all of the other things in your life. And again, that feeds into your womb wisdom, your womb intuition, and your womb as women. This was the other piece that was coming through for me today that I wanted to share. Our wombs really hold the space for everyone in our life, not just ourselves. And it has to start with yourself again. It has to start with yourself. So at first, your womb is going to be getting in touch with it to guide you, right? As just sort of like this navigation mechanism to touch in with your womb, even just breathing into it and holding your hands over your womb and breathing deeply into it and asking for guidance and asking for questions to be answered. And this was one thing that I did early on. I had seen that movie. Oh my goodness, I'm going to forget. If I remember the name, I'll tell you. But one of the things that one of the speakers on this particular documentary video that I watched had said was that he asked for the universe to respond with comedy. And I thought, now that's awfully fun and playful. I would love to have the universe respond in comedy. So I would say every morning, bring me everything I need to know in the order I need to know it. And if there's something that I need to be made aware of, please bring it to me in a space of comedy. And so it did. And so it would come in these waves of lightness that I could laugh at. And they were things that were, things that needed to be brought to my attention, wounds that needed to be healed or whatever. And I can't remember exactly, how they would always come up or a specific example, but just asking for it to come in that way was very powerful for me. And as you ask for these things and you come deeper into your womb, what I know to be true is that the womb is a guidance mechanism, but it also holds guidance for all of the family, of the land, of the space around us. And that may seem really far out to take in, but I am telling you that you will start to notice that as you heal, as you start coming in touch with your own self, that you will have this response from the world around you. People will start responding differently. Friendships will fall off. So be prepared. That's not always fun. That's part of the dark night of the squeeze hole I was telling you about. But it's powerful, and everyone will come into their own way of finding new friendships and ones that are in resonance with the vibrational frequency that you are now coming into as you connect with your womb wisdom. But you will find that your children respond. You're holding that space for everybody. And so you can't not afford to honor yourself. You have to come into that. If you value everybody else around you and they're important, and oftentimes as women, we're always saying, oh, I can't do that. I don't have time for that, or I don't know how to fit that into my schedule. And I remember that. And I got to tell you, the more I've made time for honoring me, the more I see it sets everybody up for feeling connected and feeling the love and feeling well supported and honored themselves. These are our body temples, right? I don't know if you've ever been to Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat is so beautiful, but the jungle had completely overgrown it. And there's this one beautiful space that's like an old library with this gorgeous Bodhi tree that's coming out of it, right? And you look at that, and it's hard to imagine that such a sacred space fell into such disrepair. The jungle was like a cancer coming over it and covering it. But maybe the cancer really was a holding ground for discovering the sacred space that could be excavated underneath it. So maybe the cancer, or maybe the divorce, or maybe the tragedy, the loss in your life, however great it is, maybe that is it's time to do your archaeological dig and discover the beauty of the temple that you hold, the beautiful architecture that you created. Oh my God, I had this moment a few weeks ago where my phone was sitting on my desk. And I think if it sits there on its side for a long time, it automatically turns into a slideshow. And all of these pictures of my family started scrolling through on a slideshow timer. And I just started crying. I just started losing myself in tears. I was like, oh my God, look at these beautiful bodies that we've each created. We've each created them together. We've chosen every step, every cellular makeup, every thought, every piece of food we put in our body. It was a choice. And so when you start to realize that you are choosing these things for yourself to build your life, you start to choose more wisely. And what better way to choose wisely than to be in touch with your womb wisdom and your womb intuition and your deepest knowing? And so I just want to leave everybody today with this idea of really coming into a sense of sanctity for your own self-love and knowing how worthy of everything that you are and how beautiful you are. You are worthy. You are beautiful. You are special and profound, and you have a beautiful body temple that is worthy of this sanctity of self-love. And so just in closing, just taking a big, deep breath for this beautiful, beautiful time of year as we move into this solstice, timing as it's coming around. And I want to just leave you with these words that are the tagline for this business. Honor yourself, celebrate your strength, empower your transformation with your Yin-care. I've got a lot of great things coming up for you guys. I've got another Conversations with Carly with my daughter that will be coming up. She'll be joining me here in Lander. We're going to do a little outdoor interview on the property over the 4th of July. Also have a wonderful woman that will be bringing her on, Laura Jansen, who has had a very tragic birth experience. And we're going to be hearing her story. And I will be interviewing her on Friday. That will launch in a couple weeks. So stay tuned for that. And we're getting a whole line of products. I'm so excited about it. I've been mentioning them, but they're all to support women's health. And I just know you're going to love them all. So come over to the Yin-care website, check out what we've got going on there. Definitely sign up for the womb empowerments and start to participate in the community. And I will, at your encouragement, be doing more of these little live snippets and adding those into the mix. All right, you guys, I'll just leave you with that, with honoring yourself, celebrating your strength, and empowering your transformation. I'm Margaret Jacobson, the Mother Rising, and this has been a live stream for the Yin-care Podcast. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's so great to be here with you.